The first time Adrian Hale noticed her, he was already annoyed. The line at the grocery store was moving too slowly, the air felt stale, and his phone kept vibrating with emails marked urgent. Adrian Hale, CEO of a billion-dollar tech empire, a man known for ruthless efficiency and impossibly high standards, did not tolerate wasted time. He had built his life on precision. Meetings started on the dot. People either performed or disappeared from his world. Emotions were distractions, mistakes were weaknesses, and yet, standing there in an expensive suit that cost more than most people's monthly rent, he was stuck behind a cashier who was laughing. Actually laughing. "Sir," she said, scanning his items with exaggerated seriousness, "do you want your apples emotionally supported by the bread, or should I keep them separate?" A few customers snorted. Adrian didn't smile. He cleared his throat, impatient. "Separate is fine." She nodded dramatically. "Wise choice. Apples have trust issues." Her name tag read Lena. Her hair was tied in a messy bun, a few strands falling loose as if they had escaped on purpose. She moved quickly, efficiently, but with an ease that suggested she wasn't afraid of making the moment lighter. When his card didn't work the first time, she leaned closer to the machine and whispered, "Don't worry. It does this to people who look too serious." Something in him bristled, and something else, something unfamiliar, shifted. He left without saying a word, convinced he would forget her by morning. He didn't. The next week, Adrian found himself back at the same store. He told himself it was convenient. He told himself he needed fresh groceries. What he didn't tell himself was that he felt oddly curious. Lena greeted him like an old friend. "Back again," she said. "Either you love our produce, or fate is working overtime." He raised an eyebrow. "I just live nearby." "Ah," she said, grinning. Proximity. The most romantic reason of all. He should have walked away. Instead, he felt a laugh escape him, short, surprised, almost embarrassed. It had been years since that happened without effort. Over time, their conversations grew. Short exchanges became longer ones. She told him about her dreams of opening a small bookstore cafe one day, a place where people could sit for hours without being rushed. He told her nothing about being a CEO at first. He liked being just another customer, someone she teased and challenged without fear. But Adrian's world was built on walls, and walls don't fall easily. When Lena finally found out who he was, after seeing his face on a magazine cover at the checkout counter, everything changed. She stared at the page, then at him, then laughed. "You, the cold visionary with impossible expectations." He felt exposed in a way boardrooms had never managed. "That's exaggerated." She crossed her arms, studying him. "Is it?" From that moment, tension crept in. Adrian struggled to reconcile the woman who joked about apples with the life he lived, private jets, pressure, and perfection. Lena, on the other hand, began to see the distance between them more clearly. His standards weren't just professional, they were emotional. He expected people to fit neatly into his world, to adjust without complaint. The breaking point came when Adrian invited her to a company event. She tried, she really did, but surrounded by polished smiles and conversations that felt like competitions, Lena felt invisible. When she made a joke to ease her nerves, Adrian gently, but firmly, asked her to be a little more professional. The words hurt more than she expected. That night, she told him she couldn't keep pretending. "You don't need someone real," she said quietly. "You need someone perfect, and I'm not interested in shrinking myself to fit your standards." She walked away before he could respond. For the first time in his life, Adrian failed, and it wasn't a business deal. Days turned into weeks. The grocery store line moved on without him. His success felt hollow. He realized that in chasing perfection, he had sacrificed connection. Lena hadn't disrupted his life. She had revealed what was missing. So he changed. Not overnight, not easily. He started listening more than speaking. He apologized to people he had dismissed. He learned that leadership wasn't about control, but trust. And one evening, he returned to the store, not as a CEO, not as a man with expectations, but as someone willing to be vulnerable. Lena looked up, surprised. "I was wrong," he said, voice steady but soft. "My standards protected me from failure, but they also protected me from joy. You showed me that life doesn't have to be perfect to be meaningful." She studied him for a long moment, then smiled, gentler this time. That's a start. They didn't fall into a fairy tale ending that night. They started something better: honesty. Adrian learned to loosen his grip on control, and Lena learned that some people are worth waiting for, not because they change for you, but because they grow with you. And in the end, the richest thing Adrian ever gained wasn't a company or a title. It was the courage to laugh in a grocery store line, and let someone stand beside him without needing to be perfect.